Good Tuesday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. I'm your meteorologist, Jesse Peterson. Let's go ahead and talk about the weather for your Tuesday evening, going into your future. Today, you can already see by the title. We're going to be talking about this highway of cold fronts that will make us shiver. Now, you might be asking, what am I talking about? We'll get into that. But I've talked about this train of cold fronts. I've said train of cold fronts. I've said parade of cold fronts. And now we're going to say a highway of cold fronts, because this is what it is. I'll show you the model guidance then. That, and first off, before we get into that though, and before we talk about what we're going to talk about tonight in general, first off, the internet seems to be working good. So let's hope that it stays like that. Let's hope that it stays like that. Hopefully, nothing's, crashed yet. It's still staying up and running good. So, again, like I said, if I start lagging out, I don't think that it's me today, but in case the stream cuts off, well, you know why. That, and then also, if you have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. Right now, so far, 5 people are tuned in so far, and we only have 4 likes, so a good amount, but still, some more likes would be appreciated if you have not already. That, and then also, if you have not hit the subscribe button, if you're new and you have never hit the subscribe button before, go on and do so. We're at 622, trying to get to 700. We are 78 subscribers away. 78 subscribers away from that main goal of 700 subscribers. And we're 3 subscribers away. 3 subscribers away from 625, which would be the quarter of the way goal. So go on and share it with all the people that you know, friends, family, acquaintances, people you don't like, somebody you haven't talked to in 20 years. It doesn't matter. Just send it to somebody so we can go on and get to that main goal of 700. And that's all. So what are we going to talk about for tonight? Well, tonight we will talk about tonight's weather. We will talk about what's currently going on throughout the state of South Carolina. That, and then we will also talk about, obviously, the tropics. We'll continue to talk about the tropics a little bit more as that's calming down a little bit more. We'll talk about our cooling temperatures and how, we might warm up a little bit. I'll talk about that, but then it's really just going to be cold front city then. That, and then we also will talk about our stable to unsettled pattern. High pressure Wednesday and Thursday, short wave trough Friday and a Saturday brings that front, obviously. And then you have the deep trough and the coastal low Sunday into Monday. Again, we'll talk about all that. So starting off, what is currently going on throughout the state of South Carolina? Well, right now, there is indeed some rainfall going on throughout the state. That is not technically surprising, because we were expecting that. Rainfall going on up here in the upstate from Landrum, South Carolina, down towards Inman, Duncan, all the way down to Malden and Simpsonville, South Carolina. And then rainfall even moving on over here near Salem, South Carolina. And then a lot of other areas. But Midlands, Low Country, PD, Grand Strand, all these areas right here look fine. Now, if we go on and look and see what's going on here in terms of the entire U.S., we're going to go on and take a look at our winter weather radar real quick. We're going to turn this off so we can see everything. Rainfall going on all the way from Georgia to North Carolina to Alabama, where we had tornado watches over there in Alabama. Rainfall going on in Kentucky, West Virginia, rainfall going on in Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, and then look at pretty much the majority of the state of New York is receiving some rainfall. Pretty much all of the state of Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island. I mean, just look at all this rainfall that's going on. And even if we go on and actually look at the rainfall itself, a good amount of these states are receiving rainfall right now as we speak. So it's looking like it is very rainy up there in southern Northeast. Now, even if you go over towards like Maine, as well, you're starting to see some rainfall over there. Rainfall going on in Wisconsin, Illinois, Michigan, snowfall going on in Minnesota, as well as northwestern Wisconsin, and then even the eastern Dakotas. Rainfall and snowfall ongoing up here in the northwest, from Washington to Oregon to Idaho and to Montana. And then for the most part, that's about it. Everybody else looks relatively fine and dry. Now, what about our cloud cover? Cloud cover right now is showing some cloud cover in the upstate, the Midlands, the Low Country, the PD, all these areas receiving cloud cover, some even low cloud cover. And if we go in and push this forward even more, all the way through into tonight, into tomorrow morning even as well, that cloud cover will continue to intensify. It will continue to spread throughout the state a good little bit, even as you go into tomorrow morning, like late morning going into the early afternoon hours. Cloud cover moves its way through, all the way through, even into tomorrow night. Cloud cover moves its way through the Low Country, the PD, the Grand Strand. And then even as you go into the next morning of, which would be Thursday, cloud cover moves its way up there inside of the upstate. But then it finally clears out as we get into like Thursday night, which is Thanksgiving night right here. So it looks like for the most part that once we get once we get to around like that afternoon time frame of Thanksgiving, that cloud cover is going to try and move its way out. We'll see if that will stay consistent as we go throughout the next couple of days. Now, in terms of our current temperatures right now, 57 in Greenville as well as 58 in Spartanburg, 59 inside of Union as well as 62 in Rock Hill, 67 in Newbury and Columbia, and even around 66 in Lugoff and Lancaster, 65 in Orangeburg and Sumter, and even around 64 in Somerville. We also do have around 64 in Georgetown, 65 inside of Murray's Inlet, and even Conway and Myrtle Beach and North Myrtle Beach. 64 in Charleston, 65 in Beaufort, and even 66 down there near Hilton Head Island. Now, for low temperatures for tonight, you have around 57 in Greenville, 58 in Spartanburg, and 60 in Rock Hill, 60 in Winnsboro, as well as 62 in Columbia, 61 in Orangeburg, and 59 in Walterboro, 60 in Moncks Corner, 62 in Charleston, 60 also inside of Georgetown, and 62 in Myrtle Beach, 59 in Dillon, and 62 also in Aiken, 63 in Hilton Head Island. Now, for tomorrow, high temperature 69 in Greenville as well as Anderson, 70 in Spartanburg and Lawrence, and even around 76 in Columbia, 76 in Orangeburg, and 77 inside of Walterboro, 77 inside of Walterboro, 76 also inside of Moncks Corner, and 75 in Charleston, 76 also in Hilton Head Island, and even around 77 in Georgetown, 75 in Myrtle Beach. Rainfall for tonight, good amount of rainfall is possible. You have like 100th of an inch to a 10th of an inch in Camden and Cheraw and Sumter and Columbia and Barnwell, 10th of an inch to a quarter of an inch in Rock Hill, Newbury, Greenwood, Aiken, quarter of an inch to a half an inch in Anderson, to Lawrence, to Spartanburg, even to Greenville, and then somebody up there in the very far upstate might even have a half an inch to an inch of rainfall. It's definitely possible that some of those regions up there could get half an inch to an inch of rainfall. And so that's what we're looking at as we go into tonight and then into tomorrow and then tomorrow night as well. Crazy score for tonight. If you have no idea what the crazy score is, the score that we see how crazy the weather is inside of South Carolina. And right now we're at a 17. Why? Well, there still are a few isolated showers going on, especially up there inside of the upstate. And that will, diminish as we go into overnight. We'll see some more tomorrow. I'll talk about that when we go into the models. No flood risk. The flood risk is gone. Still going to be a bit cloudy out there. Clouds will grow. Partly to mostly cloudy. Stable atmosphere, though. And then that cold front, as that cold front continues to move through, though, we will start to see some more of that rainfall and some breezy conditions come in as well as that cold front moves its way through. But we'll talk about that again. Now, in terms of the SPC outlook for tonight, it still says that the ingredients for thunderstorms are still there. You go all the way from the upstate into the Midlands. They say that the ingredients are still there for thunderstorm activity. Now, is there any happening right now? If I go on and look at the MRMS, go on and look at the lightning probability right now throughout the state, and right now it's none. So it says no thunderstorms are ongoing right now. Now for tomorrow, same thing, thunderstorms are possible, but pretty much just on the opposite side. So you have the Midlands going all the way down towards the coastal areas. That has a chance for thunderstorm activity. And then Thursday, Thanksgiving, we start to see some more drier weather and so less thunderstorm weather. And so we're not expecting any sort of thunderstorm activity as we go into Thursday. Excessive rainfall, no excessive rainfall is expected as we go throughout the next 5 days, so we are good there. So let's go on now and talk about the models. Let's go on and talk about the models and show what they have to say. And so we're going to start off on the 0Z. For some reason it pushed me forward, but I got the old one back, so we're good. We're going to start off here at 9 o'clock p.m. And you can see right here the rainfall going on throughout the upstate. That's not a surprise or anything like that. We're expecting that will go all the way through to 1 a.m. You can see rainfall starting to move its way up there inside of the upstate. And it continue all the way to around 4 to 5 to 6 a.m. Rainfall moves its way through all the way throughout the upstate, throughout the Midlands. And then with some of those showers, like I said, if the thunderstorm activity is still there, thunderstorms are still possible. You know, if it's still in the forecast, we're still going to say that it's possible. Even if you go in and push this forward all the way to 8 to 9 o'clock in the morning, look at this, rainfall still ongoing throughout the Midlands now, pushing its way through the low country around like 11 a.m. to noon, going throughout like the Grand Strand areas from around 12 p.m. all the way to around 2 p.m. And then we start to dry off a lot as we get into like tomorrow late afternoon, going to the evening. And then we continue into Thanksgiving morning into Thanksgiving afternoon, nice and dry. Now, with this line right here, remember I was just discussing a cold front. And so, if we go in and look at the dew points, because that's a good way of checking where our cold front would be. And, you know, you have some air coming through in front of it, but the real cold front, I really see that thing starting to move through. Now, this is not temperatures, this is air. And how dry it is, the lower the number is, the drier the air is. And so, you can see the cold front starting to move through really as you get into around like tomorrow afternoon. As it pushes its way through, this will bring breezy conditions as well. It will make its way down, and it will bring us some dry air. Now, what about shaded in terms of the actual temperatures? You want to push this forward even more, you can see those temperatures drop significantly. I mean, we're seeing some down to the 30s as we go into Thanksgiving morning. And then, I mean, some of us only getting into like maybe the high 40s for high temperatures as we go into Thanksgiving. So it's not going to be too warm. So for the people that wanted the cool Thanksgiving, I think that this is probably what you wanted. I mean, you're having some high temperatures in the mid 50s, some maybe the high 50s, but for the most part, this is definitely still cool. So cool Thanksgiving at the end of the day is what we're going to expect. But now if we go even further into the future, if we want to look at this rainfall, you want to push this forward. There goes the cold front right here on the 30th, right after Thanksgiving as well. That brings in some rainfall, brings in some snowfall up there into like ports of North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, these areas up into like early December. You want to push that forward even more. Rainfall pushed its way through all the way through December the 6th, all the way through the 7th. And then, is that another cold front? It looks like possibly it could be on December the 6th and the 7th. And then we get some dry conditions. We stay dry all the way throughout a good amount of the middle part of December for now. But you can see cold front after cold front after cold front. So that brings me to my main point, my reason, my pretty much not main reason, but one of the many reasons why we're going to be here tonight. And I was talking about the highway of cold fronts. Now, I said that would make us shiver. That was supposed to just be there just to be there. But, I mean, from a standpoint, it's true. It is true. And so, if we go in and go back to the models, we're going to start off on the temperature anomalies first. You start off right here. This is right now. So this is November the 25th. Picture today. And it was a bit warmer today. But it wasn't like hot or anything like that. And so you want to push this forward. We're still warm as we go into tomorrow. But then we go through that cold front, moves its way through. Thanksgiving, we get cool. And look at this cool air. Yes, we have some warm air potentially trying to move its way through. As we get into around like the 30th-ish, maybe even into December the 1st. But that cold air just stays. And then we get to December the 5th, you think, oh, okay, we have some warm air. No, not really. we'll start to get some more cold air. And so, one other thing that I want to show you about these anomalies is that even though it says above average temperatures, this is December the 7th right here. Above average temperatures, guess what the temperatures actually will be? 44 for some of these areas. So, even though it says, yes, above average for December the 7th at 7 p.m. Is around 44 degrees. Normal, if we're going to go back to the anomalies, I mean, normal for some of these regions, I mean, it only seems to be like 2 to 4 degrees above average. And some of these lighter areas right here as well, is only like a half a degree, maybe even to 1 degree above average. And so when you look at this, you really have to say, okay, well, yes, it says it is above average, but you also have to look at how just it's not going to be that much above average, and it's still going to be cool because it is winter. Yes, above average temperatures. It's still going to be winter time at that time frame in December the 7th. And so you want to push that forward. And we seem to warm up a little bit more, though, as we go into like mid-December, with temperatures going back up into the 60s and the 70s again in mid-December. Yes, mid-December. Now, 384 hours out, but things can change. And so if we go on and look at the actual temperatures themselves, we get down in the 30s, we get down into the 20s. This is right here on the 28th, right here, the day after Thanksgiving, on that Friday morning right here. When the cold front has really gone by, it looks like Thanksgiving night going into Black Friday morning, it's going to be below freezing for a good amount of us. So that's your warning right there. That is your warning right there. Thanksgiving night going into Black Friday morning, that will be a below freezing event that we will have to look for. But that's, we'll refine the details once we get a little bit closer. But it looks like we're going to be below freezing during that time. And maybe even as we get into the next day as well, from going into that night, going into Saturday morning as well, below freezing for a good amount of us. And same thing. But then you're like, okay, we start getting back in the 40s. We start getting back in the 60s. Not too much below average, below freezing. Not for long, though. You go back into December the 3rd, you're starting to see those below freezing temperatures come back as we go back into December the 3rd. And then things start to warm up a little bit more. Nope, another cold front comes through on the 6th and the 7th. And then we finally start to warm up a little bit as we go into like mid-December. So it looks like, for the most part, that even though we will be receiving below, we will have warmer temperatures here and there, it's going to be mainly on the below freezing side. But that's all I have to say in terms of this train of cold fronts, this parade, or I believe I said this highway of cold fronts. Yes, highway of cold fronts. That's what I was talking about, and that's what I described it as. And that's all that I have to say in terms of the cold front. So let's go on now and talk with the tropics, and currently talking with it right now. And it says absolutely nothing is going on right now. Absolutely nothing is going on right now. And even if I go and look at the models for the future, I mean, you see some activity in the Southern Caribbean, but for the most part, you're not really seeing too much of anything after that. I mean, you have some stuff going on down here, but other than that, just stuff going on. Nothing really too crazy or anything like that. So I'm not too concerned right now. Everything here is also 10 days out, so we still have a lot to refine even in this time frame. But that's December the 5th right here. So honestly, I think if we're this far out, you never can rule anything out. We've had rare scenarios where things have formed past November the 30th, but we only have 5 more days of hurricane season. That's it. 5 more days if we're not including today. So we have the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then that Monday will be December the 1st, and hurricane season will be done. It will be over. And so we don't have too much longer to go, but still make sure that all your plans and stuff like that are still in place just in case if worse comes to worse, because hurricane season is not over. And that's all that I have to say in terms of the tropics. So let's go on now and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Starting off, Mr. Chris was here first tonight. And he says, good evening, everyone. Hope you had a great day. I did. Thank you so much for asking. Tolliver comes in and says, good evening, cloudy, humid day at my house. I'm hoping for a cool Thanksgiving because Berkeley Electric is winning again. Well, seems like you're going to have it. Mr. Chris says, please remember to go on and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button and of the channel. And also, if you haven't, share as well. He's absolutely correct. Right now, we have 13 people watching and only 7 likes right now. If you are a part of that 6 that have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. It's free, and you can change your mind at any time. Also, the subscribe button. We're at 622, trying to get to that main goal of 700. So we are 78 away there. Let's see. Ms. Oliver says it does not feel like it's almost December. The temperature has been hot. High temperature for me today, it was 74. So 74, so yeah, that's definitely above average for December. Mr. Chris says, was a little cool here in Moncks Corner. Did get my yard raked, but paying for it tonight. Well, at least you got it done. At least you got it done. My yard yesterday, we got some stuff done there. Instead of, we had like a bunch of leaves that fell. I just got the lawnmower and ran over it, mulched it all down, and it looks a lot clearer. Let's see. My Nana says, hello, Jay, sunshine and rain over here today. Same thing at my house today. It did rain a little bit, and actually, I think it did mist a little bit. I'm not quite sure. I was inside for a good bit. I didn't see anything outside, and the blinds were closed. But it was like a little mist earlier this evening. My Aunt Lewis says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Miss Oliver says, are you ready for Thanksgiving? I am. I am definitely going to get a lot of good food. I am ready for that. Let's see, what else do we have? My Aunt Lou comes back and says, I pray that everyone has had a blessed day. I did. Thank you for that. And then she also says, I say too much about Georgetown because I'm inside of Florida. Well, hopefully you're enjoying your time there. I think you said Florida is pretty hot. And that is the case. Definitely for sure down there for them. Let's see. Miss Tolliver comes back and says it was a soggy day in Chattanooga. Will we get any rainfall this week? Well, in Chattanooga, I'm pretty sure, yeah, you already got some rainfall today. For the rest of the week, though, I'll go in and check on that before we talk about San Antonio, Texas, and Raleigh and Philadelphia and those areas. Let's see. Mr. Anthony comes in and says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Thad says it was a bit chilly here today, and good evening. Joseph, it's Thanksgiving week. I trust all as well. We have a lot to be thankful for. Absolutely. Do you agree with that? Mr. Oliver said the flying insects have returned outside. Luckily for me, I haven't seen any yet. I know that will change, though. My cousin Cheryl says, good evening, Weatherman. Hope all is well. Good evening, everyone. Keep up the good work. And be blessed on purpose. Love you, Cheryl. Thank you so much for that message. And then Mr. Chris says, I did just check my thermometer, and it says 63 in Moncks Corner. Well, same thing. Mine says 64. My old one says 64. My new one, on the other hand, also says 64. But they are about to drop down to 63. This one says 64.0, so on the dot, and this one says 63.9. So it's dropping, and it will drop, but not quite to 63 yet. And then Ms. Oliver says, so I need to dress for summer and winter tomorrow. Yeah, as the cold front passes, I mean, you can dress summer attire tomorrow, but as we get throughout like that evening time and as those showers move out the way, you're going to see those breathing conditions. The winds are going to be a bit high. It's going to be a bit breezy tomorrow as well. Wind gusts 20, 25, max 30 as that cold front moves its way through tomorrow. And so, we'll be talking about that just as we go throughout tomorrow, and then also in the part of Thanksgiving as well. And that's all that I can see here inside the chat for tonight. So if you want to go in and leave something inside the chat, you can. You just have to be a subscriber of the channel, and I'll come back. I will come back. We did get a request from Ms. Oliver to talk about Chattanooga because for the rest of the week, if you go on and look at going over here towards the southeast, you can see Chattanooga right there in this area right here. We go into precipitation. You want to push this forward. I mean, you go all the way into the 26th, 27th, 28th. I'm not really seeing too much in terms of precipitation. The next chance would be on like the 30th, which would be like next week Sunday. But things can change. Things can change for sure. If we go into the actual forecast itself, for Chattanooga, Tennessee, for the most part, it says Saturday night is the next chance with a 40% chance of showers on that day. So things can still change, but that's what it's saying for right now. And that's all that I can see here in terms of that area, in terms of your rainfall question. So let's go on and talk about the 4 locations outside of South Carolina. You might be asking, what 4 locations am I talking about? I'm talking about San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as Duncan, Oklahoma. It doesn't take us too long to talk about these areas. If you don't know why we talk about these areas, it's because we have people who watch from these areas, even though their location is not the main one being talked about, almost nightly. And so because they show their support, even though, their location is not the main one, we go on and talk about their areas as well. So starting off with San Antonio, Texas first, being the first one, with low temperatures tonight at 55, high temperatures tomorrow at 67, and low temperatures tomorrow night at 47. No precipitation is expected at this time. Same thing with excessive rainfall and severe weather. Nothing of that is expected. Then for Raleigh, low temperatures tonight at 61, high temperatures tomorrow at 75, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 38. Chance of showers tonight and tomorrow during the day, but tomorrow night, no precipitation is expected. Severe weather and excessive rainfall, not a factor. For Philadelphia, low temperatures tonight at 53, high temperatures tomorrow at 66, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 36. Rain is expected tonight. Patchy fog will also be ongoing tonight, but there will be a chance of rainfall tomorrow and tomorrow night. And that's all that you're going to see there. Severe weather, excessive rainfall, not a factor. And then for Duncan, Oklahoma, you have low temperatures tonight at 34, high temperatures tomorrow at 54, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 33. Precipitation not expected at this time. And so that's it for those 4. Again, very quick, as there's just not too much to talk about for those areas tonight. Now, what's going on throughout the entire U.S. weather news-wise? In the north-central U.S., a strong storm will continue to bring heavy snow and gusty to high winds over parts of the northern plains and the upper Midwest tonight before moving across the Great Lakes with heavy lake effect snow Wednesday into Thanksgiving Day. And so, it's getting windy for sure up there inside the Midwest. It's going to be windy all the way from from Minnesota to Wisconsin to down to Illinois, to Indiana, to Michigan, to Ohio, to Iowa, to Nebraska, to the Dakotas. And for example, if you want to look at Chicago being one of those areas, they actually will get some snowfall. But they're going to get wind gusts up to around 45 to 50 miles per hour. Over there inside of Nebraska, they're going to be getting wind gusts of up to 60 miles per hour. And so it's going to be in that 50 to 60 mile per hour range. And so with that snow and with those high winds comes blizzards. And so that's going to be a concern for them. That lake effect snow going on in New York and in parts of Pennsylvania. And then we also will receive some dense fog in Alabama as well, from Birmingham all the way up into Huntsville and then down near Tuscaloosa, where those areas will be receiving some dense fog down there. And then also in parts of California, near Stockton, near Fresno, in those areas. And that's all I can see here in terms of the entire U.S. And so that's all that I really have to say there. I don't see anything else inside the chat. Top fans for the night tonight. Mr. Chris at number 1. Ms. Tolliver is at number 2. Then my Aunt Lou is at number 3. Congratulations to the 3 of y'all for being the top fans of the night tonight. If you want to be a top fan, you can. You just have to be here early, and you have to be active inside the chat, so more than just 1 or 2 chats. That, and then also you have to be a subscriber because the chat is in subscriber-only mode. And speaking of subscribers, if you're new and you have never hit the subscribe button before, go on and do so. 622, trying to get to 78 away from there. 3 away from the quarter of the way goal, 625. Hit the like button as well. 14 people have tuned in and only 8 likes, so go on and do that as well. Right now we have more people watching than likes. And then share it with all the people that you know. And that's all that I have. So, internet worked well tonight. No complaints. It looks like that we went all the way through with no interruptions. So that's good. Hopefully that's fixed and we're done with those issues. Again, my apologies for the past couple of nights for not being here live. Just because, just issues I just could not do anything about. But we got it fixed. We're all good. So hopefully that shouldn't be an issue as we get into, especially some of these more active times. And that's all that I have there. So everyone have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday. Make sure you tune back in tomorrow for our Wednesday forecast update. We'll be halfway done with the week tomorrow. Some of us probably don't even have to do anything tomorrow, or even Friday as well. Some probably do, but a good amount of us probably don't have much to do tomorrow, especially with work, because Thanksgiving is literally the next day. But I've been off all week, so I have been extremely enjoying it a lot. But I'll be back tomorrow. Make sure that you're there as well. Drought Monitor will be coming up on Thursday, Thanksgiving night. And then, for the most part, a good amount of stuff's coming up, like next week's forecast. And then the winter and December forecast will be next week. So that's about all. I'll be back tomorrow. Everyone hit those 2 buttons if you have not already.